Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio. Today's session is our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm with the Imagine America Foundation. We're excited about today's career topic, automotive technology, sponsored by Universal Technical Institute, or UTI. UTI is this country's leading provider of high-quality, career-focused education at 12 locations nationwide. UTI is also a 20-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 15,000 enrolling Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation to our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Automotive technology careers are some of the more popular programs in career colleges. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified automotive technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees. We need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation is Universal Technical Institute. Joining us today to discuss in detail the looming automotive technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with an extensive K-12 background. But before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let us outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of the presentation. Once we finish these remarks, we'll move directly into today's presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the chat feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 10:25 a.m., I will then present any questions offered by the participants. We'll address as many questions as possible and provide written responses in follow-up emails. We will have a hard close at 10:30 a.m. so that you can get back to your schedule. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. Hope you're having a good day and appreciate your time. I know you're busy. Our agenda for today is threefold. The first thing we're going to look at is the challenges facing the workforce, followed up by opportunities in the automotive industry, and then we will conclude with Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. We talk a lot about focus-driven education. I speak all over the country, speak to educators, talk about focus-driven education. And one of the things that we look at is the changing workforce from the 20th century to the 21st century. As you can see in the graph, in the 20th century, we were very much an agricultural, manufacturing economy. That has changed greatly in the 21st century. Now we're very much a service-oriented economy. And you can all attest to that yourselves. If you own a home, if you own a car, if you own a washing machine, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, the need for people to work on these things. It's how difficult it is to find someone, let alone someone who is highly qualified to work on what you need. You'll also notice it in other aspects too, like for instance in the food industry. When you go out to eat at a restaurant, how many times have you gone to a restaurant and they'll say, well, it'll be 30 minutes, and you see 8 tables open because they don't have enough servers. So that's what I mean by very much service oriented. You'll also notice a huge difference in the 20th century with agricultural being at 41% and drop down to 2% in the 21st century. Don't let that mislead you. We actually feed more people with that 2% than we do with the 41% due to technology. A recent survey was done with the Boy Scouts of America. There were 150,000 Boy Scouts surveyed, and they asked them, how many of you would like a skilled trades career? And as you can see, a whopping 3% said, oh yes, I'd love something like that. Let's, sign me up. That sounds like me. The same students then were asked, how many of you would like a STEM related field? And over 45% said, well, that's what I want. I want a STEM career. There lies the disconnect, because students today don't see the connection between STEM and skilled trades. They think of skilled trades as kind of, a lesser career choice, something that there's not going to be very successful at. Unfortunately, we have many educators in this country now that feel the same way. They also don't see that connection between STEM and skilled trades. They think of STEM as more of a white collar rather than a blue collar part of the economy. STEM versus non-STEM education. As you can see, the fastest growing fields are in the STEM trades. And that number continues to grow. This graph, of course, shows 70-30, but that is changing almost daily. I had the good fortune of speaking after an admiral at from the Naval Academy, and he was talking about their STEM field, their STEM program they have. They're very elite, very difficult to get into STEM field. Only the top 15% were even allowed into this. And went on, great presentation. I walked up to him after it was over and told him how much I appreciate his presentation. But I just asked him a simple question: why only 15%? Because STEM fields go way beyond that. Why are we only, why are we excluding 85% of the students when it's very difficult to find a trade today that does not have some type of STEM connection? I don't care if it's who built your home. You hope that whoever built your home can read a ruler, a yardstick, a tape measure. Otherwise, your house wouldn't be square. And we can go on and on with other fields too. The opportunity is that right now, only little over 20% of the jobs that are available in this country today even require a bachelor's degree. Yet we're pushing students into school at a 70% clip. And almost half of the college graduates today are in occupations where they're not even using their degree, or they didn't even need their degree. So what they did is they went out and got an education, paid for it. They still have the student loan debt to pay back, and they're not even using what they paid for. It's a pretty sad situation. I talk a lot about the old smart versus the new smart. The old smart was, let's get to the best school we possibly can. No matter what it is, how much it costs, doesn't matter, get into the best school that we can. And then after we get there, we're going to figure out what it is that we want to do. And then if we figure out what we're going to do, then we walk out the front door and go, here I am, world, I've got my degree, hire me. And we know today that just doesn't work. In fact, you might listen to that and say, my gosh, who believes that today? Well, if you've been following the admissions scandal that's been going on here lately, you'll see that there are parents that have served jail time or are looking at serving jail time for trying to buy their sons or daughters into what they deemed as the best school. So it is still going on today, unfortunately. So that's why I love to talk about the new smart. And the new smart revolves around the student. The first thing we want to do is find out, what does that student want to do? We ask all little kids in this country, or in fact all over the world, we ask them the one question: what do you want to be when you grow up? That's just a standard question we ask all little kids. And all kinds of answers come out. Oh, I want to be a policeman. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a teacher. All this. Well, that's all well and good. But there's two things then. Why, when we ask them what they want to be when they grow up, why do we stop asking them that question? Why don't we continue to ask them as they move up through elementary and middle school and into high school? And then the other part of this too is that all these students tell us what they want to be. Yet we have a shortage of all those careers that I just mentioned: a policeman, a fireman, a teacher. We have a shortage of all those. How did that happen? It's because we're talking them out of it. We're coaching them out of it. Oh, that's cute. You want to be a fireman, but they don't make a lot of money. So why don't we look at something else? When they're telling you, no, this is what I want to do. So that's the old smart versus the new smart. We want to find out what it is that they want to do. Then we're going to help them by finding what program do they need to get there. Do they need a bachelor's degree? Do they need an associate's degree? Or do they just need a competency-based credential? That may be all they need. So then after we find that out, then let's find what school do they need. We have all different kinds of schools out there. We have colleges and universities. We have community colleges. We also have trade schools and specialty schools. Why would someone want a bachelor's degree if they want to be a cosmetologist? They can go to cosmetology school and get that training if they need. So that's what we mean by the new SMART today. The rule of 127, I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but it's very simple. If you add 1, 2, and 7 together, you total 10. So for every 10 careers that are out there today, right now, only one requires an advanced degree, which would mean a master's degree or higher. 2 of the 10 only require a bachelor's degree. 7 of the 10 careers right now only require an associate's degree or a competency-based credential. That's all they require. Yet, as I mentioned earlier, we're pushing students into colleges and universities at a 70% clip. So you can see there's the disconnect. We're doing just exactly the opposite of what our economy is dictating to us that they need. Skilled trades are STEM. There's no doubt about it. We have to get away from the university for all attitude. We have this one size fits all, and it just does not work. When I talk to students, when I talk to teachers and counselors and administrators, I really stress this point. All of your students are different. You have to look at them differently. You need to listen to them. They're going to tell you what they want to do, and it's up to us to be supportive. It's so difficult for us in education not to put ourselves into the equation, and we cannot let that happen any longer. We needed the bachelor's degrees and the master's degrees and the doctorates. We needed those for what we want to do. They may not. So telling them, oh, you need to go to college, when they're telling you, no, I don't. Here's what I want to do. We need to listen to that. And remember, competency-based credentials are what employers are looking for. What are you going to bring to the table to help them to succeed? When you go in to get your car worked on and you see the picture frames hanging over there on the wall, you're not going over there to say, oh, wow, they have a master's degree here. Oh, they have a doctorate. You're looking to see, do they have the skills to fix your brakes or to fix your transmission? That's what you're looking for. The second part of the agenda are opportunities in the automotive industry. The automotive industry is STEM, no doubt about it. These cars and trucks are rolling computers, and you know this yourselves. If you drive a 2017 or newer car, that car is wired for autonomous driving. Now, don't take your hands off the steering wheel, please, but your car will drive itself to a certain extent, or it's wired to do that. You can look at everything that's on these vehicles today, the backup cameras, the blind spot indicators, the collision warnings. I can go on and on with all these different things that cars and trucks have on them today. These things are very important. These are huge. Think about how many lives have been saved with backup cameras and with blind spot indicators. We can go on and on and on. But the problem is, who is going to work on these things? Who is going to fix these problems? If you have a collision, that used to maybe cause $3,000 or $4,000 worth of damage, it's going to cost $15,000 now because of all the sensors that are on your vehicles. And they're there for a reason, but once again, who's going to work on them? There's a growing demand in the transportation industry. We have over 1.3 billion vehicles on the road worldwide, over 260 million of those right here in the United States. And we are projecting, or actually the Department of Labor is projecting, that by 2026, there will be a need for 1.2 million technicians. I very seldom walk into a dealership, but what the service manager doesn't come up to me and ask me, hey, do you have any techs? We're needing technicians. And then finally, the third part of our agenda today is Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. Who is UTI? Well, we are very much industry aligned. We have partners with over 35 manufacturers, and what we do is we work with them. We're very much industry oriented. We teach our courses differently. We go for 3-week courses. The students are only taking one subject at a time for 3 solid weeks. And this is how we build our technician from the ground up. We're very much, you conquer this competency-based credential, you accomplish this credential, then you can move on to the next credential. This is how we build our technicians from the ground up. We start with core training, we go into advanced training, and then we get into manufacturer paid training as well. We help students to find their passion. You can't just come to UTI. You have to be invited. And so we cover all our different areas: auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, and welding. This is what we offer. So when we interview a student, we're trying to find out what is their passion? What do they want to do? So we can help them to find the right fit for them. We have locations all over the country, as you can see on the screen there, with our newest campus in Bloomfield, New Jersey, but we're going to have a campus close to you. We have 3 in California, for instance: Sacramento, Rancho, Cucamonga, and in Long Beach. As I mentioned earlier, the 35+ industry relationships that we have, these are the big dogs in the industry. We're not preparing our students for Jiffy Lube. We're preparing our students to go to work for companies like these, because these companies offer very stable careers, not jobs, but careers. And they help students to advance. They offer them benefits and things along those lines too. Why UTI? Well, we have 12 campuses across the country, so there's going to be one close to you. We'd say that we place 4 out of 5 our graduates in the field. And that's kind of a disclaimer that we have. 4 out of 5 is what we use. Actually, our placement percentages are a little bit higher in some areas, for sure. And we have over 220,000 graduates out there in the industry right now in our 55-year history. So a lot of graduates. And that's one of the things that we try to showcase our graduates. We bring them to a lot of our events so other students can see them. It's one thing for me to say something or for their rep to say something, but when one of their peers tells them something, that means more to them than anything else. And one thing that all 3 of these students that you see here have in common is they all worked hard to get to where they are. We're not easy. We don't want to be easy. We want to get students prepared for the industry and what they're going to do. And that's why we like to use our graduates to help explain those. We are Title IV funded, which means that students who qualify can receive financial aid. They'll fill out a FAFSA just like they will for other schools. We have over $15 million in sponsored scholarships that we offer. We have housing grants, institutional grants to help students to get started with school, because that's always a difficult time to get to school. So we help them with that. We have a lot of third-party programs to help with emergency situations too, because life happens. The one that I skipped on purpose are the TRIP partnerships that we have. TRIP stands for Tuition Reimbursement Incentive Program. And these partnerships we have with over 4,700 employers across the country have proven to be very popular, which I feel is why our graduation rates are as high as they are, some of the highest in the country. How this works is that our employers will offer help to students once they graduate and they are employed. This way, students will not have a lot of student loan debt hanging over their heads. The employers will pay them a salary, plus they will give them an additional $200 or $300 or $400 every pay period, and they can take that money and apply it to their student loans, or apply it to tools, or to relocation, or uniforms, or wherever it is that they need. This extra money then will help them to take care of whatever debt they have. So the only catch is that they're going to keep paying them as long as they work there, and that's no more than fair on the part of the dealership, because obviously they want to keep their technicians. But more and more dealerships in the country are offering these tuition packages because they need technicians and they want to help them any way possible to be successful in this field. UTI is here to help. I'm a retired educator. I know what you guys do on a daily basis. I know that you're talking to students about a lot of these things. What we want to do is we want to partner with you to help that happen. One of the things that we do is we offer presentations all over the country to high school juniors and seniors, or even your sophomores and freshmen as well, where we talk to them about their opportunities. It is not a UTI infomercial. We're not in there shoving UTI down their throats. We want to make sure that they know everything that's available to them. We talk about scholarship opportunities and things that they're there. We talk to them about the economy, about their own economics as well, what they can expect to make, and the problems that they're going to face as they get out into the real world. And then one of the other things that we do is we offer a lot of professional development. I know personally I do a lot of professional development across the country with school districts. Everything we offer is free. There's no charge to the school district. But I've had to schedule professional development. I know what a headache that can be. So I love to do professional development with you, with your staff, and to help you. Like I said, we want to partner with schools any way that we possibly can. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube. Personally, myself on Instagram, so you can follow me all over the country as I go to different events. As like tomorrow, I'll be heading to Seattle, Washington for the Washington School Counselor Conference. And then this is my contact information. This is my cell phone, this is my email address, and this is my Instagram account. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions, if you need some help, anything on those lines. That's what I'm here for. I'm very sensitive with my phone and with my email. You call me, you email me, you will get a response. I promise you that, because I want to make sure that I'm here to partner with you and show you what UTI can do to help you in your daily trials with schools. Thank you so much for your time today and for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dr. Coyle. I think now I'm just going to read off some of these questions. And the first question comes from one of our counselors in the Los Angeles area. If we wanted to talk to one of UTI's local reps, should we go to the UTI website or contact you directly?
Well, you can do either one. If you go on the website, you can actually make an inquiry and tell them that you are a counselor and that you would like a visit to your school, and someone can reach out to you. However, you can also reach out to me because I know who the reps are in that area. All I need from you is where you're located, so I can find the rep that would have your area, and I can get you fixed up that way.
Okay, and now the second question, we get this one kind of frequently, but the second question is from a counselor in the Rancho, Cucamonga area and wants to know about the cost comparisons with community college programs. Can you speak to that just a little bit?
Yes, I can. We're going to be more expensive than the community college, no doubt about it. If you visit one of our campuses, you'll see why. Because we offer much more advanced training. We're not even really looking for the same type of student. But as far as cost comparison, although initially you would look at the tuition and say, oh yes, UTI is going to be much more expensive, but you have to remember some things. First of all, the UTI program is only about a year in length, 10 to 17 months, depending upon what program you choose. So you get in, get out, and you're done. At community colleges, you're going to be there 2 to 3 years. So while you're still in school, paying for school, you're out working by going to UTI. And if you compare it to the colleges or universities where you're going to be there 4 to 6 years, as opposed to a year, maybe a year and 3 or 4 months at UTI, then the costs balance out pretty quickly.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I think that about does it for our question and answer session for this session. I just wanted to touch on a couple of things before we close. I want to thank all of our participants for taking the time out of their busy schedules to join us today. I will be sending in follow-up a recording of this presentation to all those who have attended, as well as a quick survey. So if you wouldn't mind just answering a couple of questions for us, it really helps us determine what it is that we could do differently or touch on. So if you don't mind answering that quick survey, I'll be sending that out to you shortly. I'd also like to thank Dr. Coyle for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage all of you to contact him directly with any future questions. So on behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, I would like to thank you and goodbye.